The pin curl set is contract D-39 and video D-39. By performing the pin curl set, it allows us to practice sectioning and identifying our reference points. So remember, we usually use our reference points to find the areas of the head. So when we're looking at the areas of the head, the first thing to remember is that the head is divided from front to back. So we have our front section and our back section. In the front section, we have our top and we have our sides. In the back, we have our crown, our back, and the nape area. And to find these areas of the head, we often refer to the reference points. So to find the parietal ridge or parietal ridge, we find the four corners. And when you do this, just make sure you're going inside the four corners a little bit. We don't want that parietal ridge to be down too low, because if it is down too low, we won't have enough room for the pin curls on the side. So we locate the four corners, and from that, we section out the parietal or parietal ridge. Then we locate the apex, and from the apex, we can make a horizontal parting, and that will give us the crown and the top, the front top. Now remember, there's a fringe or bang in there when we look at the areas of the head also. Once we've got the top and the crown sectioned out, then we can make a curved parting and carving out the side panel. There is a video for that in block D. And we just carve out, remember to make that a nice U-shaped at the back, and do that on both sides, and that will give us our sides. And then we locate the occipital bone, and we follow that occipital bone and make a curved parting, and that will give us, that curved parting will give us the back and the nape of the head. So just to review, we have the nape, the back, the parietal ridge or parietal ridge, which is divided into two across the apex to give us the crown and the top. We have our sides, left and right side, and that's it for our sectioning. There is a handout for this for teachers if you would like to use the handout, give it to the students. It provides all the sectioning and step-by-step instructions. And this is also a great way for teachers to assess your pin curls. So if they have you do the pin curl set, you get some good feedback on each one of the pin curls from your teacher. There is a rubric that you could use if your teacher provides it for self-assessment, or the teacher could use to assess your pin curl set and each one of your pin curls individually. And there is a contract, which is basically the assignment that the assignment of completing this pin curl set. You can also comb out the pin curl set if you want, and teachers can also mark on the comb out for that. So there's a lot that you can assess and a lot that you can practice in doing the pin curl set. So to save time, and also because there's already videos on each one of these pin curls, I sectioned out the parietal ridge. I divided it along the apex, and where I started was in the crown with my barrel pin curls. And if you need a refresher for the barrel pin curls, that's video D6. So you can look for that video, and that'll just give you a quick refresher on how to do your barrel pin curls. But basically just filled that crown area with barrel pin curls. And the one thing I just want to note is I kind of bricklayered them a little bit. So don't put like 3 pin curls and then 3 in the exact same spot in the bottom row if you to match the top. What you want to do, and you'll notice I have 3 barrel pin curls and then I have 2 barrel pin curls, because it does curve in here, and I also, that way I'm bricklayering it a little bit. So once I completed that, I then went to the top part of the head, and I made a parting, a high side part here. And these cascade pin curls, they are going to the left, and they are half base. These cascade pin curls are all going to the right, and this row is on base and this row is half base. So the reason these outer edges are half base is I find if you do want to comb it out, it just combs out a little bit nicer and it just blends in, because on this side you'll notice we have sculptured pin curls, which is the least amount of volume, and when you don't want to have the most amount of volume meeting the least amount of volume. So you have to have something in the middle to blend and to balance that. And the cascade pin curls, if we put them at half base, they will do that. They will blend. So something new, putting the pin curls at half base. The next thing after the top was filled, I then went to the left side and put in a nice C shaping and did some flare pin curls. So basically that whole side is just filled with flare pin curls. You can do them on a diagonal, you can do them horizontally, you could do them vertical. You could even watch the videos, I think it's video D-19, and there's the skip wave and the ridge curls. You could even challenge yourself, or teachers can challenge their students and put a skip wave or some ridge curls in the side. So we can see these are reverse and they're away from the face. Once that was complete, then I went to the right side and I did two rows of sculptured pin curls. Now you might fit 2 or 3 rows in here. Just want to remind you that that first pin curl is clipped through the middle, so you have skin, hair, and then your clip. And we just have the open end at the face here, whereas on the other side we have the closed end at the face. So this is going to be an asymmetrical comb out, and this is just going to give us a little closer because of the sculptured pin curls. They have the least amount of volume, so it's going to be sitting close to the head. If you wanted, you could even practice a reverse pin curl down here. If you had a mannequin that had a lower hairline or a client that had a lower hairline, practice your reverse pin curl and let it sit there. And now we're on to the back. So far we've got barrel pin curls in the crown, cascade pin curls in the top, the sculptured pin curls on the left side, the flare pin curls on the left side, and the sculptured pin curls on the right side. And now we're ready to go into the back. So this back section, we have left our back and our nape. So when you do the back section, there's a few options you can do here. You could just continue these flare pin curls around, and that would work because you just have more movement and it's all going in one direction. And when your flare pin curls with medium volume, which is what they create, meet up with your sculptured pin curls that create the least amount of volume, it will balance all right because we're gradually declining in our volume there. The other thing you could do is you can just go on a diagonal and you can continue your barrel pin curls in here, and you could put one row of barrel going one way and then change it and go the opposite way. So there's lots of different options. You can try different things if you're doing this set as a student on your own, or teachers can suggest different things that they might like to see their students try. So I'm just going to put a C shaping in here, and I'm just going to continue my flare pin curls. So you'll notice I started on my right side here because I've turned the mannequin around. Now this is my right side, and I'm just going to continue my flare. You always start at the open end. You have your C shaping in there, and I'm just going to let them fall in to place. So we're just going to do flare in the back section, and then down in the nape area we're going to do some directional pin curls, and these flares are going to the right, so I am going to direct my directionals to the left so that we have a lot of nice movement in the nape area and in the back area, the whole back. I'm going to have another row. I'll put the head down when we're working in the nape. So one more row of flares. And in most regions, the pin curls are part of the exam in the fact that they are included in the roller set. So you want to make sure that you know how to do your pin curls and how to clip them so they look nice and neat. And how to do your C shaping. So now we're on to the nape area. So these pin curls are going to the right. So we're going to do some directional pin curls that are pulled to the left. That's going to give us some volume from our barrel pin curls. With the flare pin curls, we're going to have a decline in volume because they're medium volume. And then in here, it's going to be even closer because directional are tucked right in. They give the least volume, but they give direction. So now we're going to go the other way. And remember, this is video D19. Oh, sorry, no, D19 is the skip wave and ridge curls. This is video D7 that you can have a look at if you need a refresher. So I'm just looking how her hair is growing there, and I'm just going to take a triangle section, so make a diagonal line down. I'm going to pull that stem in the direction that I want it to go, ribbon that hair, roll it up, and make sure you don't roll it up too much. Make sure you can see that stem directing where you want it to go, and you're going to clip from the open end. Now the tricky thing is we're near the hairline here, so when you do this clipping, make sure you weave it through slightly. Don't just clip right into the hairline, weave it through. Whenever you're doing pin curls, remember the rule is you don't clip into the hairline with rollers, never, unless you're doing a pivot. The last roller in the pivot is clipped at the point, which will be at the hairline, but because it's a point in a narrow section, you normally never get a clip mark. Now when you're doing pin curls that are such as this, that require you to clip at the open end, you want to make sure that you're weaving it through. It's very important. So we don't need a shaping or anything, we just need that stem directed where we want that hair to go. And then clip at the open end. And we're just going to keep working in vertical sections, dividing it into, using diagonal lines, dividing it into triangles. And you can also use a rectangle base for the directional pin curls. So when you're watching the video, there's two videos for directional pin curls. They're both D7, but one is showing the different stem directions on the side of the head, and one is showing the pin curls, directional pin curls in the nape. And those ones are used more for updos. So make sure you're watching the one, I mean you can watch them both, but make sure you're watching the side stem, the back stem it's called actually. We just want to pull it back, straight back, and that's the one you'll want to watch. Trying to keep my arms out of the way, I hope you can see. And I'm just going to keep going and finish these off, pulling them all in the same direction using my, now here I went diagonal up, so now I'm going to go diagonal down. just to interlock those sections. And sometimes you get a triangle because you're right near the hairline. You get a triangle that doesn't really look like a triangle, but it's because of the shape of the hairline. That's okay. Just put your pin curl in there. It doesn't, every shape doesn't have to be an exact triangle. Okay, so remember, this is the pin curl set. It's great to help us practice our sectioning. It's great to help us practice all our pin curls, and we can even comb it out. And I'll probably comb it out and show you what it looks like combed out, either on Instagram or in the video. And it's just a good thing for us to practice, and every once in a while. We don't do pin curls all the time because you're learning other things, which is great. You need to learn everything. And this way, every once in a while, when you have some free time, you can practice these, and then you don't lose your skill and you are ready for your exam. Keep your ends tucked in there. If they pop out, try them again. So I hope you enjoy doing the pin curl set. I hope teachers find this a good way to examine or test students. And there we go. So just to review quickly before we are done. Remember, the first task when you are assigned the pin curl set is to find your four corners. Section out the parietal ridge. Find the apex. Make a horizontal line across to section the crown and the top to make them separate. Make a curved parting. Carve out the side panel, and there's a video for that if you need a refresher. Carve out that side panel on both sides. Go across the occipital bone and section your nape from your back. And then you have all your sectioning done. Fill the crown with barrel pin curls. And if you need a refresher, remember that's video D6. Fill the top with cascade pin curls, video D6. Don't forget to put your side part and have these going one direction and these going the other direction. And remember, these pin curls are half base, just to help everything to blend if you do choose to comb it out. Then do your flare pin curls, closed end at the face, open end near the crown. Then do your sculptured pin curls, open end at the face, closed end near the crown. And then decide what you want to do in the back. I did flare pin curls. Just continued the flare pin curls from my side going along, and then I did directional pin curls in the opposite way. And that's the pin curl set.